based on perception and identity, some people would believe that it's very limited. Like, I know I'm so soft-spoken, I'm very gentle, I'm a goody two-shoes, but there's so much more with who a person can be if you allow yourself to be. And it's intentional. So using your games that you play, cosplay, geek culture, referencing our heroes, it already shows you who you already are. Like when you play, you're very much also like that. Whether it's in-game or not, you have the capacity to. And again, there's no judgment. You can be brave, complex, powerful, and gentle. You can be your own version of something. And that's, I think, what something like being flexible and having a range of identity is not something that many people embrace because it's scary and it's confusing. Like, how can you be gentle but also aggressive, right? How can you be so calm but also very violent? It's both. Like, we have the capacity to be so ranged in identity that it frees us from any judgment. It frees us from having to please people because you know that your ability to embrace everything is just there. And that's not picking and choosing or like not knowing who you are. It's actually the opposite. When you know who you are, you know you're capable of doing more. When you know who you are, you know which archetypes are not yours too. It's like, I know I'm probably not going to be like a firefighter, but I'm a helper, It's that being okay with everything, just being more, but also not fooling yourself to try to be something that you're not. I think that's like the summary of archetypes. So again, when we're doing things like, again, when you look at me, I don't think people would see, oh, she's Catwoman, but I'm very much a Selena Kyle, was very mousy, and people would just like take advantage kind of and underestimate me. And so that's the whole thing about having certain archetypes. Selena Kyle is not a Catwoman. Selena Kyle is the mousy, sensitive person, and she gets treated a certain way. So like every archetype has a lesson to overcome. Like the black sheep, it's to not be misunderstood. It's to accept that you are different in some way and then find the right people to not make you defend yourself or feel constantly misunderstood. It's the journey. Every archetype has its own journey. Every archetype has its life lesson. And sometimes the strengths of an archetype are the things that you're missing. Like, it's amazing because some people spend their life learning about the darker parts of their life. If you're a black sheep, you spend your life learning about the light and the good, all the strengths that you're ignoring. And that's an amazing way to look at it. So this is very important to me. I know I'll talk about archetypes forever. It's so important because those of us who feel misunderstood, I know not every gamer here feels misunderstood, but whoever comes across this in a replay, and if you do feel misunderstood, I just want to share that I resonate with you. I get it. It's not easy, and you feel like sometimes, is it worth trying to explain myself to people who aim to misunderstand me? They're not even open to knowing who I am, right? So that's part of your story. That's part of your life journey of figuring out who's worth knowing. You don't have to show all parts of you to everybody. You don't have to show people who hurt you how you've grown and changed. Like there's really no reason, if they want to misunderstand you, they're constantly wanting to see you in the wrong way, let them. That's the perception shift of who are you going to go towards now. If we're trying to chase love and acceptance from the wrong people, that's not the great choice in life. Maybe that's your life lesson. So who can you go to that will see you in a healthy way? Who will you go to that will uplift you and will see your strengths and support you even if you are struggling? That's the hard part. A lot of people will only care for you and be in your corner when you're doing your best. Doesn't that suck? Like, when you're so successful or you're whatever it is, popular, whatever, you know, rich, whatever it is, like, people want to follow you around. They want to hype you up when you're successful already, not when you're struggling, not when you're trying to figure stuff out. Look for those people. Look for the people who were there while you were having a hard time. Look for the people who respectfully try to encourage you and just be there. That's the win. It's a perception shift. All right, look for those kind of people. And if you can't find it, you know, that will take time for you to maybe withdraw, to kind of reflect on where to find it. And so what happened to you was out of your control. Many things will be out of your control. That's just life. And for the rest of the story, how will your choices change? How will you change the rest of your story now? And this is like a tenet of narrative therapy. It's your life is a story. You are the author of your story, and there's things you can do to change it. Hi! Psych for Geeks, you're here. I'm guessing you're during a break right now, huh? And hopefully you can feel the rain on your skin. No one else will feel it for you, Lamau. I'm not going to sing because I lost my voice from this, but I wish I could sing right now because it's a good song. I like it. You have to go back in 15 minutes. Aw, man. Well, you made it. Maybe you can make a presentation on narrative therapy in the future. I think you'd be good at it. And my ad breaks are going to come, so touch grass. Well, I'm almost done. Hold on. I don't know much about it. Oh, well, I'll give you some writings and you could do a presentation. But look at this picture. Again, I took effort to make these damn things. Isn't it cute? So you can be the hero, right? That's you. And this could be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a goal and ambition. And like, what are your dragons, right? Everyone has something. And for some of us, it's personal. It's actually ourselves. We're the dragon. You know, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. We didn't know that it was going to be me. It's cute like me. Thank you. Thank you. And then I think this is it. So I encourage you to just give it a shot. Like, based on living a life for a certain amount of time as the black sheep, you have nothing to lose. Like, really, if people treat you like you're the worst person in the family and you're the problem, there's only room to go up, you know, like, so try something different, a new role or an old role. So that's interesting about your life. You get to go back and try old things, new ways, old ways. Like, let's say you tried something 5 years ago and like, you know what, it doesn't work. Try it now. You can keep trying until it feels like you can make it your own version of something. I think sometimes we don't tend to adopt an identity because you have in your head an idea of what it's supposed to look like, which is someone else's version of it, right? Be your own version of an archetype. Be your own version of an awesome person. That's you. And we can use our fandoms on purpose, including escape and entertainment. So when we use our fandoms on purpose, you can kind of tap into your heroes. Like, who do I want to be like today? Some people might like to be like Ryan Rodney Reynolds. I might want to be like, I don't know, Christina Ricci. I've always wanted to be like her. I can't morph into her. I remember I wanted to be like her growing up. Yeah, who are your heroes? Who do you want to be like? Like, just again, bridge the gap. There is a reason why you like them. There is a reason why you admire them. You're probably more like them than you give yourself credit for. So I'm going to throw that back onto you. You are probably more like them than you think you are. You have a list for a reason. You have people you admire for a reason. And when you play your games, what's a strength or feeling you want to take with you IRL? You very much are like Ryan Rodney Reynolds. I think you are. So think about it. When you play your games, there's a strength that you already have. You're quick. Your reaction time. You're a good teammate. You communicate well, or you deal with losses okay. A lot of gamers don't, but I'm just saying. Psych Freaky says, yep, but don't make up personalities for the people you admire. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's an interesting take. So yeah, when you're playing your games or when you do the fandoms or the cosplays, you're creative. You have a wild imagination. You can think of things that no one else can think of. You're comforting, like you're open-minded. All these traits. You got to think about it again, different perception. Just because you're doing it for escape or just for entertainment, I know you're also doing it for other reasons. You're doing it because you want to get better at something. All the competitive gamers, they have a lens of wanting to be competent and have mastery. That is a lot of persistence. A lot of people will give up, and it's not good or bad. You have to pick and choose what you're going to give up on, you have to pick and choose what you're going to work on. That's the same choice as being a gamer and a competitive gamer. And then, is there a way to practice doing this slowly? Online communities, groups, trusted friends outside your family system. So like go out of the system to try on the new identities. And when you think like it's more fluid, more like, I think this is more me now, you come back into it bit by bit if you want to. You don't have to. You can follow your heroes and can be like them, not be them. Exactly. Find a safe person. And then I will always encourage therapy, group therapy, and support groups, all different ways to be mirrored back and seen for who you are right now instead of who you were in the past. So powerful to be seen right now instead of in the past. And I've seen in a lot of therapists who are very playful, geek therapists, they use D&D. You could, again, do it in therapeutic sense, but you can also do it just to play with people who are very good DMs. If you have a good dungeon master, they can help you create a character to try something different from who you think you are. Just try a different trait, try a different avatar, be playful and be curious. Try something completely wild and different and see where it takes you. See how you feel about it when you do it. And then the arts. So for me, number one is being creative and being open to art. And I'm going to say everyone has the capacity to be creative. Even if it's just like coloring in a coloring book. You don't have to be the masters of the Renaissance to be an artist or a consumer of art. That is not fair. Even just listening to music, that means you're exploring parts of your identity. You can be acting, spoken word, performance, drawing, content creation, memes, singing, and improv. And there is also improv therapy. A lot of therapists will encourage their clients to seek out improv, to embrace more of who they are, to cultivate a sense of personal power and be more brave. So all these things are very healing ways of reclaiming and expanding on who you are. And it's a process, so your growth and how people see you will happen gradually. Please believe that. Like, it's worth the slowly attempting to do. Hiccups, try again. Hiccups, try again. It's a habit, and it's so worth it. You're totally worth growing for. You're totally worth doing something different for. And sometimes people will not see you differently. So that's like the hard truth. Sometimes we grow, we change, and when we come back to see them over time, they still treat us how they think that we are like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. They never caught up, and that's their problem. You could change and be completely different, and they're going to still try and push you back into a past version of you. So I just want to note that because people can be powerful. So it's important to understand who has influence over you. Some people are very influential. Some people's opinions matter more. But over time, hopefully, I'm throwing things at you, throw it at you, give you permission to, your opinion matters more. How you care about yourself and see yourself matters more than opinions of other people. Please try and believe that. Okay, and this is my last reminder before I wrap up. Change, this is the freaking cycles of change. Like, it's this, okay? It's not linear. It's not gradual mountain climb. You go up and down, all over the freaking place. It's messy. If you try a different identity, it's going to be the same thing. If you try to be something else, a different role, or an old role that you want to visit, it's like this. So messy, so chaotic. It's acceptance of the process. Once you know that, you give yourself permission to just like to breathe. You're not doing it wrong. It's not wrong to be messy. That's change and that's life. But some of us have this, we get paralysis in action or giving ourselves credit for doing things because we think, oh shoot, I am not growing in a linear, gradual up way. Like that's not, no, it doesn't work. Psych for Geek says short-term goals and then reevaluate your process. Yes. So that's actually a really good, we have a doctor in the room. She says that just pause, check yourself, like do a couple steps, pause, reevaluate. Is this the right way? Should I tweak anything? Yes or no? You know, like that's perfect way to do it because you're being intentional. You have more control. Otherwise, we get too tired and abandon our goals. Exactly. So you give yourself more power when there's a plan in place while it's kind of messy. So it's a little bit of both. It's messy because that's the nature of humanity, but you can check in and see, how am I feeling? Do I need professional help right now? Am I coping okay? Is this who I actually want to be, or am I doing it for the wrong reasons? Or did I try something that I think I should have done, but you know what? After trying it for 6 months, 6 weeks, it doesn't feel right. So you have permission to stop. It's all you. I think that's it.